Hi, this is Bruno. Welcome to the Cyberimpact channel. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can add a pop-up form to your website. But first of all, what is a pop-up form? A pop-up form is literally what it sounds. It's a form that pops up on your website where you can collect information from the visitors, like their email address, their name, last name, and any other information you would like, and have them added into your mailing list. A pop-up form is used mostly to get new subscribers into your mailing list, but you can also use it to segment your audience, drive new leads, or grow the engagement with the ones you already have. So let's go ahead and move on to the Cyberimpact dashboard, where you're going to see how you can create your first pop-up form and set it up so it works on your website. Let's go. Okay, so here we are on the Cyberimpact dashboard. So you can see already that you have a new pop-up form button here. But let's go the traditional route and go with forms. And then here, let's add a new form and you can select which one. So let's go with pop-up. That's what we're going to show you today. And from here, you can already see the basic setup. So here you can add the form name, and this is for you to organize your own forms and your information. So let's go ahead and say test. Let's do travel agency. You can choose the language. So we have the French and English. So you can go ahead, let's go with English. And you can choose where this image is going to show up on your form. If it's on the left, on the right, or if you want no image, just the text like this. So let's go with left for this purpose, for the purpose of this tutorial. So this is what's gonna look like your pop-up form editor. Let's go with content, and we're gonna edit first the content of the form. Let's start off with the title. On the sidebar here, you can say sign up to our newsletter. Then you're going to be able to customize your title. So you go on title styles and you're going to see a bunch of fonts. This is really useful for you to adapt your own branding into your forms. Go with Anton, and then you can adjust the size. So you can make it bigger or smaller. The idea is to keep the title always a bit bigger than the text. So let's keep it 38 like this. And you can choose the colors. Play around with this as much as you want. You can make it more transparent. You can make it more opaque and play around with the colors that we have over here. Let's go with red. So let's go with this and choose the alignment either to the left, center, or right. Let's go and leave it at center. And this is the spacing. So the spacing is the space between this element and the one on top. In this case is the border, and the one on the bottom. So you can see the top, it's high. So let's make it lower so you can see that the border is coming closer to it. So let's leave it at, let's say 50 something. And then the bottom spacing, let's open up a bit more so you have more room over here. Let's keep it 17. So you can see this is a space between this and this. Let's move on to the text. So the text is more information on your pop-up form. So why should people sign up? So sign up for a newsletter to keep up to date with the latest news, keep up to date with travel deals. You can customize, you can add a link, you can add a lot of information. And also, like I said, you can go and change the alignment to center, left, justified, or right. Let's keep it centered. Moving on to the text styles. So same thing as the title. You can change around, you can play with it, change all the fonts you want. Let's go and, oops, it's a bit too big. Let's keep it at 15. I think this is a good size. Again, you can choose the color you want, purple, pink. Let's go and stay with gray for now. You have also the link color. So if you want to change the link color, if you add a link here and you want to make it pop, you can change this over here. And again, the spacing. So remember that when you add the spacing to the bottom of the title and to the top of the custom text, you're going to have more space here. So you want to make sure that it's balanced. So let's add this up a little bit more. So this is the space on the bottom over here. Let's go on to the fields. So for the fields, I'm going to go back to the content sidebar. So these are the fields that are available to all Cyberimpact accounts. So we have first name, last name, gender, birth date, postal code, country, company, and note. You can also add custom fields. So this is interesting when you want to do more segmentation, and these are for the paying accounts. So let's say that I want to add a custom field. Let's go ahead and add a date custom field, for instance, and I want to make sure that I send offers to people when it's their birthdays. So I'll say birthday, and then I'll just drag this over here. I'll go ahead and put it, I want to put it under email. Okay, so then you have first name, email, and birthday. I can change if I want it full width, or if I want it just smaller, and I'll make it full width so it matches over here. So when I go back into the first name, for instance, I can make it a required field, and then you're going to see a little asterisk over here. I can change the label of the field. So I want to say if it's just first name or name, however I want. and I can add a placeholder. So I want to make sure that people understand what they have to add over here. So I'll go ahead and say Bruna, which is my name. And the same thing you can do to email. So you can add this information over here. So this is content. I'll go ahead and leave the birthday. I just want to keep it simple so people are really fast to fill out this form. So first name and email, that's great. And let's go ahead and move on to the button. This is a very important part of your pop-up form because this is your call to action. This is what's going to drive people into signing up. So you can say subscribe, or you can keep it under 3 words is what we recommend. You can do something more like this, more interactive with the text that you have. For now, let's keep it subscribe because people are signing up to the newsletter. And also you can customize your button as much as you'd like. So let's go ahead and change this, and I can make the title bigger. I can round the corners. If I want the button straight, you can see this is set to 0, but if I want a bit more of a rounded button, I can go ahead all the way to 40. Okay, so then you can change the color. Again, I can use the same red as I used over here. So let's keep it like this so it's matching. You can change the color of the text. So if I want to change it, I like the white over here. So let's keep it white so there's more contrast. So the rollover over here that you see, the background and the text, this is when you put the mouse on top of the button, what it's going to look like. So here it would look purple. So let's put it in white, let's say, and keep the text black. And then we're to see how that's gonna look like. You can also add a border. And let me change the color so you can see it better. Let's do a black border. So you see, you can change the color as much as you want. You can make it thicker and you can make it thinner. And you can add a shadow. So you see it's very discreet over here. Let me make it darker so you can see better. So now you can see that the shadow drops over here. You can change the blur, more or less of a blur. And then the offset, the bigger, the further away the shadow is from the button. Let's keep it 2. And then the vertical offset also, if it's going up or down, let's say something like this, go ahead and turn off shadow for now. And then you have the spacing. So you can make the button full width. So it's going to be the same size as the fields that you have. And you can change the spacing. Oh, that's a big spacing. The bottom spacing as well. You can see that it changes. So make it a bit tighter like this. Okay. But I want to make it not full width. So I can also change the alignment. So it's either to the left, to the center, or to the right. So this is the distance between the button and the sides of the form. So you can see that I make it tighter or a bit bigger. So let's keep it around like this. So the last step, going back to the content over here, is to change the image. I can go ahead and click over here, or I can click over here. So this is our image. Like I said, you can add it to the left, to the right, or no image at all. So let's go ahead and choose an image, and you can upload your own images, or you can choose from our Cyberimpact library. And let's see, yeah, let's choose this one because there is a more centered image. There you go, right in the center where I have the main elements. This looks nice, I like it. Lastly, what you can do is add an alt text to your image. So the alt text, if your image is not loading, images with an alt text are going to show that text so the person knows what's the image about. So they don't just have to wait for the image to load. They will have that information over there. Also, it makes your content more accessible because people who are visually impaired or who use a program to read them the screen use alt text to understand what's happening. So if you put a lot of information into your images, make sure that you have an alt text so they can get the general idea. So this is a boat on the ocean. So this is a simple description. I would actually write a bit more to describe the whole image to someone, but this already gives the person some idea of what's happening with the image that either is not loading or they cannot see for some reason. So, okay, this is our alt text. I like the image. I like how it's looking. Now that we're done with the content, let's go to the design menu right here. So in the design, you can see that you can change the font of the form. This means you're going to change the font of the fields over here. So let's go and leave it with Roboto for now. And this is a layout. Again, you can choose if you want the image to the left, if you want no image, or the image to the right. I like how it looks on the left, so let's keep it like this. You can also change the position of your form. So this is in the center, so you can see there's a little bit of a background. There's an overlay, and you can choose the color over here. Let me show you what that looks like. So you can make it darker or lighter if you want, and you can also play around with the colors. So if you wanted to match your branding style, you can say, for instance, you want green, but you want a very transparent green, and you can see how your website looks like on the background. So let's keep it to gray, ish and a bit darker than this. And you can also customize the color of the X over here, a dark kind of red like the other fonts, like the other elements on my form. So I'll keep it red like this. Going back to the position, this is form on the center of the page, but you can also put it on the corner right, like this, and you can see the rest of the website, what it would look like. And you can put it in the corner left as well. So it depends on your preferences and what you think the best experience is going to be for your audience. Play around with this, and let's go ahead and keep it on center. These are the last elements of your form. So this is your form width. So you can play around with this. You can make it bigger, almost pretty much the size of your page. Keep it a little bit smaller. So this is the distance between the elements and the border. Right? And if I put it like this, it's all the way to the borders. Let's keep it something like this. And again, like the buttons that we did over here, you can change the rounded corners. If I wanted right angles like this, or if I want a bit more of a rounded corner, you can go all the way up to being really rounded. Let's keep it right angles for now. And the background. So this is the background of your form. Like we customize everything. You can change this and make it match your branding. So if I want something more in pink and red tones, this is what it would look like. If I want it blue, any color that I want over here, you can also add your own hex codes and make sure that it matches your branding perfectly. Like the button, you can add a border to your form. So let's say you want to add a red border, and you can adjust the color and the size and play around with it. I'll keep no border, and you can have a shadow. So the shadow is kind of hard to see over here like this. Let me change the color. Let's make it black, and there you go. You can see a very dark. Again, you can change the blur. You can make it a bit more, a bit less. The horizontal offset and the vertical offset. Let's see what that looks like in the corners. So you can see a little bit more over here. And on the other one, it's also over here. And that's all the content and design of your pop-up form. Let's move on to the next screen that you have here, which is the success message. This is a message that shows up if you're using double opt-in on your form. So before we customize this, let me show you what the double opt-in is. So if you go on to settings over here on the top, you're going to see the more information about your form, and I'm going to show all of this in a second. Let's just go ahead for the double opt-in. Here it's on. When you click here, you'll see the information about it. So with double opt-in on, contacts who fill out the form will receive an email to confirm the subscription and validate their email. If you're not sure about what to do, we suggest to leave this option active. This is a good way for you to not be swarmed with bots and fake emails. This is a way for people to give express consent that they want to receive your emails. So when you turn it off, let's just use it so you can see. So this is what it looks like. This is a simple thank you message. Thank you for subscribing. You can also customize it, the style and the spacing like we did with the previous form. When you go to the double opt-in and you turn it on, you see that an information here is changed. The basic message that you have is to check your email. Thank you for subscribing. Check your last step. And this, you have the information. You can change this information as much as you want. You can also do the customization with the title and text and change the spacing. Let's go back to the settings so I can show you the next steps. Before, let's go ahead and save. It's always important to keep saving throughout the process. So this is saved, and let's go to settings. You're going to see a lot of information. Let's go step by step. On the pop-up display options, you're going to see that you have two options over here. This is when your pop-up is going to show on your page. So it's either going to show when the page opens, and you can wait a few seconds before the pop-up form pops. So what we recommend is to keep this between 5 and 10 seconds. Nowadays, we have a lot of websites with a cookies pop-up, with a cookie message informing them to authorize, to accept or reject the cookies. So if you have that message and the pop-up form showing up at the same time, it can be a bit overwhelming for the users. So I like to keep it 5 to 10 seconds after they visit the page. You can also choose to show the pop-up form on exit intent. This means that the pop-up form is going to show up when people are going to click on the X to close the window. Let's go ahead and keep this one on. And then we have the display frequency, which is select the time interval before it is shown again to the same user. This is something that you want to explore maybe once a month, once per day, weeks, or always. So this means that the form will appear every time a user opens your website in a new tab. So if I open the same website in many different tabs on the same day, the same time, all of them are going to have the form. So you can play around with this as much as you want. If you want the pop-up form to show up 5 times a week or 3 times a week, or even per day, if you have people who come back often to your website. I want to choose always for the purpose of this tutorial so you can see every time that I open it. And this is the important part. This is adding your website URL to make sure that your pop-up form shows up there. So let's go add the Cyberimpact website. And make sure that you add HTTP or HTTPS. And then we have the double opt-in and we have the confirmation page. This is the thank you page that people are going to see after they confirmed that they want to receive your emails on the confirmation email. You can set this up as the same address here. You can go back to your homepage or you can do a custom thank you page. This is totally up to you. For now, you can leave it empty. So let's go to subscription type. This is what people are going to choose or not when they sign up. So all pop-up forms must be connected to a group. So this group can be hidden, which means that the subscriber doesn't know which group they're signing up for. This is your own organization. They can have multiple choices. Let's say for this travel agency, I want people to choose if they want to travel by themselves, with family, with friends, or with a partner. So then I can list with custom fields these options, and they can select obviously multiple choices. So it's more than one group. So they can say that they like to travel by themselves and they also like to travel with a partner. Then they'll be added to both groups so they can receive information from both. And single selection is pretty much the same as multiple choices, but just once. For our form, I'm going to go with hidden. And let's say it's for the infolettre. So this is the newsletter. Okay, this is the group that I want. I'll go ahead and save again. So I just saved my form, but I also want to make sure that I publish it. If it's not published, it's not going to show up even if I add the code to the website. So to display your form, you need to add its code to your website and publish it. I'll move on to the next stage, which is adding it to WordPress. So I came back here to our forms panel so you can see all the forms that we have over here. So we created this form over here, but I want to use this one because I have a page set up for it. So let's go ahead and get the code of this form. And here's the message that you're going to see. It says that in order to show this form on your website, the following code must be added inside of the head tag of your website. It must be present on every page where the form could appear. So if you add your form to one page and you want to show up in other ones, you have to add it to all of them. It's not going to automatically add to all of your website. Sometimes you have different offers for different people with different customer journeys. So add forms to each page you want it to show up. So I have copied this code over here, and then I'm going to go on to WordPress. If you're using WordPress, this is a very simple step. If you have a more complex website, make sure that you reach out for your IT department or IT person to help you out with this. So let's go to WordPress. I have my pages over here. I have one page set up to do this. So this is the page. This is a car dealership. So I created this page talking about cars and the kind of cars that you can have. And you see here, when you click on the three little dots, you have this whole sidebar, code editor, and this is the code of your page. This is what the page looks like. On this, I want to find my head tag so I can add my code. Command F, write head. There you go. This is the first one that you see on the website, and this is the one you want. So let me close this and add my code. This is a script and everything's here. I'm gonna save. Before I do anything else, I want to go back and make sure, yes, this is the form we're using. Yes, it's published. Okay, I'll go to the preview and see if it's working. Okay, this is our page. This is what I wanted it to look like. Have electric, hybrid, and gas car. So the form is set up for exit intent. So when I drive my mouse close to the exit, there you go, the form pops up. So this is what it looks like. You see all the information over here. You can add your name, your email, and you can choose the multiple options that we talked about. And when I go back to my forms, I can easily publish or unpublish them. So you see now it's unpublished, so it's not going to show up. Let's go ahead and do a test. Save, and I'll open the same page again. And this is the page, there you go. And then it doesn't show up. If it's unpublished, it's not going to show up. Going back to here, you can see the information on each form. You can see how often it was used, how many contacts signed up, and the times it was shown. And that's all you need to know about creating your pop-up form on the Cyberimpact dashboard. And there you have it. That's how you create a pop-up form on the Cyberimpact dashboard. If you don't have your Cyberimpact account yet, you can click over here to create your own free account. If this video was helpful to you, please consider subscribing to keep watching more tips on how to use email marketing to boost your business. Once again, I'm Bruna. This is the Cyberimpact channel. I'll see you on the next video. In the meantime, happy emailing.